Well, we are up in the mountains outside of Denver, about 2 hours outside of Denver. And by we, I mean you and me. That's what we're doing. We are up in the mountains, in the snow, with the trailer, looking for a campsite. And there's a couple of reasons why we're doing this. One, because we're probably stupid, so there's that. Number two, we're doing a shakedown run because we've had some recent repairs done, unfortunately. And three, we are doing a shakedown of some new products that I hope to be using during the winter. So we got a couple of objectives here. Now, in terms of some bad luck we've had lately, we had our front drive shaft seize up, and that had to get rebuilt. That cost us a couple days of time. And then just a couple days ago, we were on our way to Utah to spend some time in the San Rafael Swell. And we didn't make it very far. We made it about 2 hours, and all of a sudden, we are hearing this horrendous clanking sound from the rear end. So we stop, we turn around, I find a shop in Silverthorne, which is straight downhill from where we were at, and we get there and they tell me the rear pinion is shot. They don't have parts, they can't get them for a few days, which is fine. We were 66 miles from the Edge Automotive. They had the parts in stock, and they're the ones that have done all the work on the Jeep. So I had AAA tow the Jeep over there to get it worked on. They had it turned around immediately, next day, and here we are. So we have new gears. We have gone through a full break-in cycle. We did some heat cycles. Then I put on 500 miles of doing less than right around 60 miles an hour, no faster than 60 miles an hour. And then I had to hook up the trailer and drove it down to them, which was about 45 miles, stopping every 15 miles and letting it cool for 15 minutes, doing the last of the full break-in on the gears. So now we are in the mountains, again, we being you and me, no one else, no Katarina, no Lucas. They're at home where it's nice and warm and wishing me the best of luck out here. So that's where we're at. So right now we're looking for a campsite where we can set up and hook up a diesel heater, try and get some warmth going, maybe a fire, do some work. I installed Starlink today, which is right above my head here, getting me good internet access pretty much everywhere except for one tiny little stretch on the way up here where there was just no view of the sky. So not surprising. You got to have a little bit of a northern view of the sky for that to work, and everything worked just perfectly. So I'm very happy. I can work remote, and here we are. So now we got to find some place to set up camp. So why am I out here camping by myself, especially in the snow? Well, as I said, I want to test out some gear and make sure it's going to work well during the winter, but also I'm going to be doing some solo trips during the winter and into 2025. And that's because of Katarina's work schedule. She can't go with me all the time, and I can totally work remotely. So this is not just a shakedown of some gear, but also preparation for me to go out and do some solo trips by myself. And of course, Lucas will be with me in the future. So look forward to those trips coming up. Now, while I certainly do not plan on spending all winter in the snow, because honestly, that would kind of suck after a while, or fairly quickly even. What I'm going to do is head south, and I'm going to visit places like southern Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and hopefully even Texas, and see some of those places that are typically summer destinations, but I want to see what they're like during the winter. And I'm really looking forward to sharing those adventures with all of you. Well, I think I have found me a beautiful little campsite right here. Snow's not bad. It's about 3-4 inches deep. It's snowing a little bit, but not enough for me to worry about. We got some nice skies behind me. I'm not really expecting any snow tonight. So first things first, take care of shelter. Make sure everything is set up, get everything ready to go so that as soon as I'm ready, I can hop in. But I do want to fix something to eat in a little bit. But I think first and foremost, I'm going to get the shelter set up so that we're ready to go. I keep saying we. I'm not used to being alone. This is kind of weird. And I'm really alone. There is nobody else out here. There was one vehicle leaving the trailhead. They obviously didn't make it very far and decided to turn around. So I am in this area all by myself. Kind of cool and a little creepy. Let's get the tent set up. This is the Tough Stuff Overland Alpine 61. Goes together quite nicely, quite easily. And I checked my level, and I am perfectly level right now. So don't have to do anything else to get set up. I'm not going to bother with jacks or anything. I'm just going to go as is. I think everything is going to be absolutely great. I've got all my bedding inside, so I don't have to deal with trying to unpack and get stuff set up. It is all ready for me to go. Good to go there. Little safety carabiners on here. Keep it from bouncing around. That's pretty much it. Now I'll get the diesel heater set up so it's all ready to go. So whenever I want, I can fire it up and start getting things going. Whew. Yeah, it's like 25 degrees out here right now. A little cold. Definitely going to be taking advantage of this guy. For this trip, I'm using the LF Bros diesel heater. So far, just in tests around the house, I really like it. There's no sound from the fuel pump, and it comes with this nice bag of accessories. Super nice setup. So start with the hoses here. There's two hoses, a 3-inch and a 4-inch. And these are nice insulated hoses. So that's going to cut down on heat loss, which is really nice. And then to connect them, instead of just relying on, kind of hard to get to everything in here. Instead of just relying on some hose clamps to go on the sides, they've got these 90-degree connectors. They just pop onto place. So I can get it to the right angle I want, get it on there, tying it down, run it right into the tent. Real minimal heat loss. On the other side, it comes standard with a whole setup for doing recirculating air. That is not something I've seen on any other heater. Often they just have a vent here, and if you want to do recirculating, you have to come up with some way of mounting the hose. This just pops on here and will run a hose to the other side of the tent, hopefully recirculate the air, keep it nice and warm. Now, in some of the other tests we've run with diesel heaters, we haven't needed recirculating. It hasn't been an issue. So I'm just kind of curious as to how well this is going to work when I haven't really needed it in the past. Time to cook some grub. It's what time is it? I don't know. It's winter in Colorado here. It's 4:45. Don't have a lot of daylight left. Let's see what we're expecting here. Got the Stoke Voltaics electric system up. Just faster to set up than having to run the propane hose over here. But also just kind of like to try it, especially with the Blue Eddy. I can see it's pulling 800 watts. I have it set for 800 watts. Thing's working great. I've got some marinated chicken here. I think that'll do the job quite nicely this evening. Ooh. There we go. Thank you, Katerina, for doing a little meal prep for me today. This is her side of the trailer with all the kitchen supplies on it. I don't exactly know where everything is. Kind of having to do this on the fly a little bit. It says it's 26 degrees. Sunset is in 10 minutes. So it's going to start getting dark here real quick. So I decided to go ahead and fix some dinner. Now I've got a new meter that I'm going to use tonight that's going to show me in the morning how much power the diesel heater actually drew. So it's going to be interesting to see how much power it actually uses for however long I'm in the tent. 8 hours, 10 hours, 6 hours, whatever it is, we'll see exactly how much power it drew. I think that's going to be pretty cool to see. But I have over 2,000 watt hours of power here, so I'm just going to use the same Elite 200 to cook, run the heater, run some lights, whatever else I need for this evening, but should work quite nicely. Ooh. Man, this smells good. Ooh. In fact, I think I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Put it on 600 watts so I don't burn everything. I said, I'm not the cook here. That's her. So while this is heating up a little bit, I'm going to go warm my hands by the fire. Whew. Oh my God, this smells So good. Thank you, Katarina. Putting this together. And I've got some Irish butter I'm going to put in here. And then I've got some potatoes to put in here as well to round out this meal. Delish. It is cold though. That temperature is dropping quick. It's looking good, smelling good. Oh, cannot wait. Whew, I think we are good to go. This looks absolutely delicious. Smells fantastic. Whew. Let's go eat. Oh yeah, nothing like a little campfire, good meal. Oh, that is so good. Oh, Katarina, you outdid yourself on some camp food for me here. This is the way to do it. And I've got internet because I've got Starlink now. So that's a big plus. I'll probably show you in the morning how I have it set up. It's inside the Jeep. There's an alien sunshade above the front seats. It sits above that, and then the soft top is on top of that. It's just pointing straight up. We get decent speeds, good enough for most anything I'd want to do. If I need full speed, I can just pull it out, set it up, aim it properly, and we're good to go. So now I can truly work remotely. Wow. Temperature is dropping quick. It's about 24 degrees. We got the diesel heater up and running. We got the main hose going in on this side. We got the recirculating on that side. And it's running probably pretty close to full blast at the moment to warm up the tent inside. I do have an electronic, a digital thermometer, so we'll be able to track, see how it does over the night. I'm gonna start by using the thermostat mode. I've got it set on 18 degrees Celsius, which is 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll see how it manages that. If it ever gets up to that, then it'll drop down into a low power mode, wait for the temperature to drop a little bit, and then kick it back up. Now, in theory, that's going to save on both battery and fuel. We'll have to see how that goes. I don't know how well it's going to do with this tent. Now, in the future, Tough Stuff Overland says that they're going to come out with insulation panels to go on the inside. Would make a huge difference in temperatures like this, or in super hot temperatures when we're running an air conditioner in here. But right now, for tonight, we're going to start on thermostat mode, see how that works. My concern is that if it reaches that 64.4 degrees and it starts to go into a low power mode, how quickly does it cool off inside? It might be too fast because of the lack of insulation. If that's the case, we'll switch off of the thermostat mode and put it on power mode and see if we can dial in a setting that just keeps it a nice even temperature all night long. We are up in the tent. It is getting very cold outside. The fire went out and I figure we'll come inside, maybe try and get some work done, see how things are going. Well, told you I've got a digital thermometer here, this Temp Check. It's what I always use for testing these things. And right now we're showing 50.9 degrees, almost 51 degrees inside the tent. I'm already stripping down layers in here. That warm air is something. Right now we're at 52.7 degrees, so it is climbing in here. Sitting up, it feels very hot up here, and you know, obviously cooler down on the bottom. So one thing that might help would be to just add a fan in here somewhere, just on a very low setting, just to circulate it a little bit. Because if I'm sitting in here trying to work, I'm gonna get really sweaty on my head and I don't want my feet to be cold. And when I'm sleeping, I don't want it to be cold up here and really hot down there where the vents are. So that's what this is all about: fine tuning, adjusting, seeing what works, seeing what things we can improve, and go from there. What I'm gonna need to find though is either a fan that runs off USB or can run all night and then be charged during the day. So if you have any suggestions on a fan that I could put in here, please let me know in the comments so I can check it out and see if that would work for us. So just in the time we've been talking, it is up to 52.9. Again, climbing nicely in here. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna do some editing. I did manage to go through my stuff and I found a little fan that I set up here, and it runs for about 10 seconds and shuts down because the battery's dead, and I charged it before our last trip. So not gonna work for me. And I don't have any, it is a USB mini, which I do not carry with me, so I don't have any way of charging it right now. So not really sure that that's gonna do the job for me. Oh, looking good. Oh, nice warm breakfast on this freezing cold morning. Oh, That works. Some sausage, some egg. That does the trick. And this Blue Eddy Elite 200, man, what a way to just electrify your campsite. Running the Stoic Voltaics cook system, no propane, one less fuel to carry. Really is doing a great job. They also have like a kettle. I want to look into getting that to make some coffee in the morning. I think I'm going to skip that because it's just cold, and I want to get packed up and get out of here and make it out before the conditions get worse. It's snowing a little bit, not bad, but it's Colorado. Things can change in a heartbeat. Well, we are working our way out of here, and while I didn't see much snow coming down last night, my own tire tracks are not visible from yesterday. So some areas must have got a little bit more, or at least enough to just cover the tracks up. Well, I made it out okay. Made a couple wrong turns because I wasn't following trails off-road like I should. We're airing up. We got the Hyperflex system and the Moab compressor and the air command, which is super cool. I can just let it go and it's just gonna stop when it's at the right PSI. So this was a great trip. Had a lot of fun. Stayed nice and warm with the diesel heater. Had some good food, and it's time to head home and thaw everything else out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.